Hey peeps! So recently some of my friends have been putting together Thoughts from Places vlogs. If you don't know what that is, it's a vlogging style created by the Vlogbrothers. I love them! Calm down. Hank, John, call me. Basically, while sharing video clips of your travel, you use a voiceover to share the thoughts of what you're seeing and how you interpret it. So today I thought my advice would be through an example of my own thoughts from places from New York City. Do you even have thoughts? Hey, I have... thoughts? Swing, swing, wong. Keeporjot. Most thoughts from places start out with a clip of someone waking up for their flight, but since my flight was at 9 p.m. or the red eye, here's a clip of me freaking out because I realized it's 6 p.m. and I haven't even packed. I have a few traditions when I fly out of state, one of them being doing the dishes in my kitchen sink. This I learned when I returned from my 1-week trip to Japan and found something growing in the dishes in my kitchen sink. I also unplug all my appliances because, well, I hear that's good for the environment. Similarly to doing my dishes, I also take out my trash, mostly because if I get robbed while I'm away, I feel like a burglar would appreciate a clean trash bin. Doing all these things for the first time because when I say I have a tradition, I mean I'm starting one, I realized the mistake I had made. With the microwave unplugged, I had no clock to tell me if I was going to be on time to my flight. Oh crap. Getting into my car to drive to LAX, I was able to confirm from my clock that I was going to be on time. On the drive, I was reminded of the gorgeous sunset Los Angeles has because of the high concentration of deathly smog. I had to give a nod of appreciation to LA for slowly killing me in such a beautiful way. On my bus ride to the airport, I had one thought. I have to pee. In the bathroom, I was creeped out because the man in the stall next to me was on his cell phone with his girlfriend. Then I realized I was the creeper with a camera filming in the bathroom. LAX is quite big and easy to get lost. Thankfully, this goat named Directory was able to help me find my way. And here's my obligatory shot out the airplane window of, well, tarmac. Does anyone else find it odd that we get our air supply from something that looks like a nipple? If you don't know, a red eye is a flight that occurs during sleep hours, thus the red eyes here and the grumpy face, cause I got no sleep. I found it fitting that heading towards my flight, I was left with a sunset, and leaving my flight, I was greeted with a sunrise. On my train ride to Queens, which is where LisaTubeJournal lives, I had to remind myself that not all of New York is like Manhattan, which is the part of New York that I'm used to seeing. Queens has things like park bench locations that aren't in Central Park, and alleyways that lead to, well, nowhere. The view from Lisa's apartment reminded me that Manhattan is not that far away. Now, I've been to New York on several occasions, but the purpose of this trip was threefold: seeing friends, seeing the Book of Mormon, and eating good food. But I did manage to squeeze in some sightseeing, like this church, Rockefeller Center, and the Nintendo store, where I constantly asked, "I can has?" While walking in Central Park, I decided to pay my respects to the bard, but while searching for him here, and here, could not find Mr. William Shakespeare. I did find the location that the movie Enchanted filmed the song That's How You Know. Lisa and I attempted to start an Enchanted flash mob, however the people playing ball in the fountain didn't seem to know the choreography. After our visit to the nature part of New York, we are off to see the Book of Mormon, which as you can see from my expression here, I found hilarious and loved. I had the fortune of meeting cast members Josh Gad, who I wanted to hug, and Andrew Rannells, who I wanted to lick. Following the performance, Lisa and I shared great Greek food and sangria with my friends ChateauOfADoubt, EvMoneyTV, and ShesSoMickey, who had water. As many vloggers who meet up do, I failed to record much footage of my friends and instead focused on the drag show we saw that night. The next morning, ChateauOfADoubt, aka Emily, and I took a bus up to our home in upstate New York, where I was again reminded New York does not necessarily equate dense city. By random chance, we ran into JustTubed and ckXcore from Pennsylvania, who happened to be in New York at the same time. Cough, stalkers. As most tech geeks do, we felt the need to show off our high-tech gadgets. We also talked about the differences of living in a busy city like LA versus the suburban towns that Emily, Cody, and Justin are from. Things like traffic, because there are more than 10 cars on the off-ramp, and huge piles of snows, which I got to touch. Emily took us around Saratoga Springs, where she grew up, and we saw things like her school and the actual springs of Saratoga. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. That's hot. Apparently, the spurting water is a bit magical and is supposed to be something you drink, and I tried it. Well, as you can see here, I liked it. Emily continued to show us some amazing locations, including her city's public library, art center, and the classrooms where she often teaches. My trip was cut short, unfortunately, by my own failed planning, which forced goodbye hugs. And it was during these hugs that I was reminded of the purpose of my visit. As much as I appreciated seeing the heavy contrast of new architecture versus old, or contradictions like the sign that says no standing, but you sort of have to stop to read it, the hugs reminded me that what truly brought me back to New York were these people that I call my friends.
Good friends.